What if I told you that the Beast Incarnate, the Conqueror, the most dominant force in WWE history, bowed to a vision greater than himself? What if Brock Lesnar didn't just join a faction, but became its most terrifying leader? Today, we explore a wrestling reality that would have changed everything. This is Brock Lesnar joining the Wyatt family. Welcome back to Wrestling vs. CC, where we dive deep into the stories, theories, and what-ifs that make professional wrestling the greatest form of entertainment on earth. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we're about to take you on a journey into darkness, domination, and destiny. Let's set the stage. Picture this. It's the height of the Wyatt family's power. Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, has already corrupted souls, converted followers, and spread his cryptic message across WWE. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are his disciples. Daniel Bryan briefly fell under his spell, and the wrestling world watched in fascination as this backwoods cult leader manipulated minds and broke spirits. But there was always something missing. Raw, unstoppable, physical dominance. Now, enter Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate. The 1 in 21-1. A mercenary who fights for Paul Heyman, for money, for destruction. But what if Bray Wyatt saw something deeper? What if he recognized that beneath Lesnar's brutality was a man searching for purpose beyond championships and paychecks? Think about it. Brock Lesnar has always been the ultimate weapon, but weapons need a hand to wield them. And Bray Wyatt, he was the master manipulator, the shepherd who could guide that weapon towards something far more sinister. This isn't just about adding muscle to the Wyatt family. This is about understanding that Brock Lesnar, stripped of Heyman's corporate ambitions, could become the physical manifestation of Bray's dark philosophy. Together, they wouldn't just dominate WWE. They would transform it into something unrecognizable. Imagine the moment of conversion. It wouldn't happen in a traditional match or backstage segment. No, this would require something psychological, something deeply unsettling. Picture Bray Wyatt cutting a promo, speaking directly to Lesnar through the camera. Brock, you've conquered everything. You've broken bodies and collected championships like trophies. But tell me, do you feel fulfilled? Or do you feel empty? You're a beast in a cage, and Heyman holds the key. But I offer you something greater. I offer you freedom. Freedom to become what you were always meant to be. Not a mercenary, not a hired gun, but a god of destruction. And then, the unthinkable happens. Lesnar attacks Paul Heyman. The advocate, the mouthpiece, the man who guided Lesnar to the top, is left broken in the center of the ring. The arena is in shock. And from the darkness, the Wyatt family emerges, surrounding Lesnar, welcoming him home. But here's the twist that makes this scenario truly captivating. Brock doesn't just join the Wyatt family as another follower. He takes it over. Now, you might be thinking, wait, wouldn't Bray be the leader? And that's where this story gets fascinating. Because in wrestling, the most compelling stories come from unexpected power shifts. Bray Wyatt was always the shepherd, but what happens when you recruit a wolf more dangerous than yourself? What happens when the weapon you created becomes too powerful to control? Within weeks of joining, Lesnar wouldn't just be a member of the Wyatt family. He would be its engine. Here's how it would unfold. Week 1. Brock Lesnar appears in the compound, in the backwoods setting that the Wyatt family called home. But instead of the sheep mask or the family attire, Lesnar wears his own twisted version, rugged, primal, covered in war paint. He looks less like a WWE superstar and more like a warlord. Week 2. The family targets main event talent, but now, instead of Bray's mind games softening them up, Lesnar simply destroys them. Roman Reigns. F5 feet D through a table. John Cena. German suplexed into oblivion. Seth Rollins. Kimura lock until he passes out. The message is clear. The Wyatt family isn't just psychological anymore. It's apocalyptic. Week 3. Tension builds. Bray cuts a promo about the beast serving the vision, but you can see it in his eyes. He's losing control. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan now look to Lesnar for direction. When Bray says go left, they wait for Lesnar's nod. Week 4. The takeover is complete. In the middle of the ring, Bray Wyatt tries to reassert dominance. He delivers one of his cryptic promos, talking about how he created this monster. And Lesnar simply laughs. A cold, terrifying laugh. Then he hits Bray with an F5. Harper and Rowan don't move. They don't help. Because they've already chosen their new leader. Under Lesnar's leadership, the Wyatt family becomes something entirely different. Gone are the long, philosophical promos. In their place, brutal, efficient declarations. Lesnar speaks rarely, but when he does, every word carries the weight of inevitable violence. We don't need to explain ourselves. We don't need to justify. We simply take. The group's mission becomes crystal clear: total domination. Not through manipulation, but through overwhelming force. They target every championship, every main event spot, every Hall of Famer who dares to come back for one more match. Harper and Rowan become Lesnar's enforcers, his twin destroyers who soften up opponents before the Beast finishes them. Bray Wyatt. He becomes the voice in the background, still cutting promos, but now as a prophet who foresaw Lesnar's rise. He's been demoted, but he's learned to accept his new role because the alternative is destruction. The WWE landscape changes overnight. Babyfaces can't defeat them because they can't match the sheer physical dominance. Heels can't join them because Lesnar trusts no one outside the family. And management. They're terrified because the Wyatt family under Lesnar doesn't care about corporate directives or sponsorships or PG ratings. They are pure, unfiltered chaos. Now let's talk about the matches that would make this scenario absolutely legendary. Because a Lesnar-led Wyatt family doesn't just change backstage dynamics. It creates once-in-a-lifetime confrontations. Lesnar's Wyatt family versus The Shield. Imagine the original Shield, reunited specifically to combat this threat. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose against Lesnar, Harper, and Rowan. Two trios built on brotherhood, but one driven by justice and the other by annihilation. The promos alone would be must-see television. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker with Wyatt family. We got Lesnar breaking the streak, but imagine if it happened with the Wyatt family involved. Picture the dead man facing not just the man who conquered him, but an entire cult of destruction. The psychological warfare between Bray's promos about death and legacy versus Taker's legacy would be extraordinary. The Beast versus the Apex. Lesnar's Wyatt family versus Randy Orton's Evolution or a newly formed faction. Two groups, both led by established destroyers, both claiming ownership of WWE's future. Civil War. Eventually, the inevitable happens. Bray Wyatt recruits new members behind Lesnar's back, perhaps younger talent who still believe in the original vision. This leads to a Wyatt family civil war, with Bray's followers facing Lesnar's enforcers in a battle for the soul of the faction. From a pure storytelling standpoint, this scenario is gold because it subverts expectations at every turn. Fans expect Brock Lesnar to be the lone wolf, the special attraction who shows up, destroys, and leaves. Making him a faction leader creates long-term investment. Fans expect Bray Wyatt to always be in control of his followers. Having him lose that control to someone more dangerous creates genuine drama. Fans expect factions to be either all powerhouses or all technical wrestlers. This Wyatt family would have everything: Lesnar's raw power, Harper's hard-hitting style, Rowan's intimidation, and Bray's psychological warfare. Most importantly, it creates a threat that feels legitimate. In wrestling, we often see factions form and immediately know they'll break up within months. But a Wyatt family led by Brock Lesnar? That feels like it could run for years. That feels like it could main event WrestleMania after WrestleMania. That feels real. So what would the lasting impact of this storyline be? First, it would cement Brock Lesnar as more than just a special attraction. It would prove he can carry long-term storylines, lead a group, and create compelling weekly television, not just big match moments. Second, it would give the Wyatt family the one thing they always lacked: a definitive era of dominance. In reality, the Wyatt family had moments of brilliance but never that sustained period where they felt truly unstoppable. Lesnar provides that. Third, it would create new stars. Imagine the babyface who finally defeats this group. Imagine the faction that rises up to challenge them. The rub from eventually taking down a Lesnar-led Wyatt family would be career-making. And finally, it would give us one of the most unique character evolutions in WWE history. Brock Lesnar, the man who fought for money and ego, finding purpose in something darker. Becoming not just a beast, but a leader of beasts. A general of chaos. A king of the compound. The vision wouldn't have changed Brock Lesnar. It would have unleashed what was always inside him. So, Wrestling vs. Family, I want to hear from you. Would you have wanted to see Brock Lesnar join and eventually lead the Wyatt family? Who would you have wanted to see them feud with? And most importantly, who would be the one to finally take them down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're down there, smash that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into what could have been one of the most terrifying factions in wrestling history. If you're new here, subscribe to Wrestling vs. CC because we're just getting started. We've got more fantasy bookings, dream matches, and wrestling what-ifs coming your way. And remember, in the world of professional wrestling, anything is possible. Sometimes the most dangerous beast isn't the one in the cage. It's the one who builds the cage around everyone else. This has been Wrestling vs. CC. Follow the buzzards, follow the beast, and most importantly, follow your wrestling dreams. I'll see you in the next one.